This is high school senior Jamal Harris elevates, flushing home the Tit Jam, Mr. 50-inch vertical, showcasing why he got his nickname. Look at that.
See, this is remarkable.
That's a great nickname.
Yeah, it's better than the one I gave him earlier when I left out the word vertical. My apologies to the young man.
Why?
Appreciate you cleaning that up for me, Jenna.
Yeah, I took over because I didn't want you to do it twice.
Thank you. That is, it looks like he's off a trampoline, see.
Yes. I mean, you don't see college guys do that. You see NBA guys be able to dunk off this free throw like that.
Karl Anthony Towns. Watch it. T-Wolves.
Go get
Boom.
Big
This
Cat.
was an exciting game last night.
So T-Wolves get the win in overtime to end their 14-year playoff drought.
Game 7 atmosphere, win or go home.
Oh,
Game
yeah.
7 officiating. The refs
More
letting them
importantly,
play.
that was a little playoff tease.
Yeah.
Like, if you talk about the difference between the regular season and the NBA, watch the game last night or a playback of the Denver Timberwolves games, and you will get to see. You're going to get fouled in the playoffs.
And finally, Spurs at Pelicans. Pelicans were favored by 3. Just something I knew. Rajon Rondo finds Anthony Davis for the half-court reverse alley-oop. Nick?
Jenna knew that because she's turned into a degenerate gambler. Text me before 4 a.m. each of the last 3 days asking what bet she can make. She won this one last night, so she's feeling good.
It's the only corner Nick and I share right now.
Playoff Rondo is coming back, and I'm excited to see it.
It
Blazers,
also lets you know,
tough matchup.
even as you mature, there's peer pressure.
Absolutely right.
Big time.
Yeah.
Rondo's
Jenna,
my
I got
dad.
a good baseball matinee for you to bet.
No, we're not doing that. We're sticking with playoff basketball. The NBA regular season is now over, so we are asking Professor Wright and Professor Carter to put a grade on it. Gentlemen. So you see the Cavs finished 50-32. They're in the 4th spot in the East. Put a grade on the Cavs' regular season performance.
The letter that starts the Cavs, a C, Jenna. I mean, Coach Fratello told us that this is a tale of 3 different seasons. The season they had that Kyrie started the firestorm where he forced the trade. And then they get the injured team without Isaiah Thomas. Then they get Isaiah Thomas back, and then they trade him off to Los Angeles, and 4 players out, 6 new players in. LeBron was an A. The rest of the organization was an F. LeBron brought him up to a C, bro.
LeBron was an A+. The rest of the organization, though, wasn't just an F.
He just had to go.
Hold on, but I'm going to go under you here. Hold on a second here. Wait, what do I do, C? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. All right, listen. But it's not just that the rest of the team was an F. They weren't turning in assignments. They were skipping finals. So I'm giving them a D as a whole. You had early in the year controversy. Kevin Love, you faking an injury. No, actually, he had a panic attack and he was having a crisis. You got my man, JR, throwing hot soup on people.
Yeah,
they couldn't even get to the playoffs before Tristan showing up on all these Snapchats in the tabloids. You got all this going on. The coach got sick, came back. This is like a college team that has one player who is such a good student. He brings them up their team GPA to the minimum threshold. The Cavs as a whole are a D, carried by the 4.0 student in LeBron James.
All right, the Celtics were one of the season's early surprises, even winning 16 straight games at one point. Boston finished with 55 wins and will face Giannis and the Bucks in round 1. CC, put a grade on Boston's regular season performance.
I'm going to give Boston a B. Man, if you would have thought we'd had a B after the first night of the regular season.
For a couple minutes.
What I've been able to see is these younger players developing in Tatum and Jaylen Brown, their ability to be potentially superstars for the Celtics or potentially coupled with a pick or two to bring another superstar to Boston. I think Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens have done a tremendous job. And also, the reason why they're getting a B is the stretch they had without Kyrie Irving, where they survived. Gordon Hayward hurt, Kyrie Irving hurt, and the Celtics still surviving, number 2 seed. They did big things in Boston this year, regardless of what they do in the postseason.
If you'd have told me before the year, so before I knew Gordon Hayward was going to get hurt, before I knew Kyrie Irving was going to get hurt, the Celtics were in 55 games, I'd say that's a great season.
Yes.
So I give them an A. Like, when you incorporate, they didn't have Gordon Hayward, you incorporate Marcus Smart's been out. He's an important member of their team. Kyrie obviously been out this last stretch. Not to mention the development, as Cece said, of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. One guy a future star, another guy maybe future fringe star. This regular season, they overcame so much and still won 55 games, the fourth best record in all of basketball. That's an A.
Even with the lingering injury things, as far we don't know where Gordon Hayward's going to be, Kyrie Irving.
I'm not grading him down.
Got a screw, a bracelet or something, put in his knee or something.
I'm not grading them down on the injuries. They overcame it. That's why I'm giving them.
Okay, I got you. That makes sense.
On to the Western Conference, where the Houston Rockets were the best all season long, winning a franchise record 65 games. They'll be facing off against the Timberwolves in the first round. Nick Wright put a grade on the Rockets' regular season.
A+. As good as you can imagine, man. They bring in a new player. How are they going to remember that storyline? How are CP3 and Harden going to coexist?
Yeah.
What about these other guys they added? PJ Tucker, Luke Richard, Mavon Lute. They won 65 games. 21st team in NBA history to ever reach that threshold. They ran away with the 1 seed in the West. This is A+. It's outstanding.
And they became a top 10 defensive team.
Yep.
Check that box. Man, these guys playing together. Check that box. Man, this has been a great season for the Houston Rockets. Now, they're in A, even though the coach said don't matter what happened in the playoffs. Now, let's finish it off with a little extra credit.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you. Why are you saying that? The Warriors struggled in comparison to the excellent standard set since Steve Kerr took over on the sidelines. They won 58 games. They're the 2 seed in the West. So they'll play the San Antonio Spurs in round 1. CC, put a grade on the Warriors' regular season.
And the Warriors, this grade right here, it's hard to come up with because the work that they did as a team, it was A work. Then you start to see some other things. Their bench getting old. The technical fouls. Steph Curry, ankles. I ain't worried about the knee. Ankles, couple ankle injuries. So I'm going to go with a B because they didn't look good when they weren't together. They look real good when they work together. So I give the Warriors a B.
I give the Warriors a D. I think they won about the minimum possible games you could with this talented of a roster where you didn't lose one of your players to a season-ending injury. I understand they dealt with injuries, but all of their stars, except for Steph, played more than 60 games, and Steph played 51. 58 wins for this team with this level of talent.
So they must have flunked the final because they had a high grade because they was right on Houston's tail just a few weeks ago.
KD's getting ejected. All this.
Somebody must have gone caught with plagiarism or something. I mean, seriously, because they was right underneath Houston, bro.
Different expectations for different students, CC. You should know that.
All right, last, we've got Russell Westbrook and the Thunder. Despite adding Melo and Paul George, OKC finished with 48 wins, just 1 more than last season. They'll face off against Utah in the first round. Nick, put a grade on the Thunder's regular season performance.
I'll be very quick. C. I think they were an average student. I don't think they wildly underachieved, but they certainly didn't overachieve. They're a C student this year to me.
Them and the Cavs, 2 of the most disappointing stories during the regular season. The Cavs gave them a C. OKC, I'll give them a C, even though they're star student Russ. You got to consider he brought the GPA of Melo and the rest of that group up. The greatest Olympian ever.
Melo. You're never going to let me live that down.
Take a break. Coming up, have the Patriots found the quarterback that will take them through the next 15 years?
Can I get a blind reveal of the greatest Olympians ever?
Greatest men's basketball Olympian is what I said. Not great.
It's 99.